Top of the hour, Blake Ruffino down there in Louisiana. We'll go down there and get some Cajun action going. I love it. Love it.
Check out your boy.
My name is Blake.
Hit notifications for AYS. Hit notifications for AYS. Refresh.
What an incredible Cinderella story. This unknown comes out of nowhere to lead the pack.
That blacked out Tahoe, hell yeah, let's roll with it, cuz.
Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
I'm in love with a stripper. She bobbing, she rolling, she bowling, she riding that pole, and I'm in love with a stripper. Me, I'm a bearded, ugly-looking dude, and she's a fine mama.
You gotta always protect the McNuggets.
Yup in my white tee. All in the club. Some Patron in my white tee. You know, she don't want to pop lock and drop it. She never wants to do that. Money in the bank, shorty, what you drank.
I haven't had anything yet. So how can I have some more of nothing? You're killing me, Smalls.
What's up, Country? Hey, what's up, Country? He's coming on down to Austin. We got him some custom beats. We got him a custom a burnt orange jacket, a can of chewing tobacco, and he gonna come down on here to Alton. Ricola. You know, DJ. Go DJ. That's my DJ. Go DJ.
Like the guy said, you're gonna eat lightning and you're gonna crap thunder.
Down there and got a Mocha Loca, yeah. All of a sudden, I just heard my wife yell to my son, "Get out of the trash." Well, that's not good. This is Rudy Poo, y'all.
I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
Oh my God, let's go. Yippee! And we are live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Blake Ruffino. This is Are You Serious Sports. We hope that you are making it a good one. We know that we are as well. I did not get a chance to type in our infamous comment for everybody to hit the like and share. So everyone do it with me. Do us a favor and hit the like and share. Okay. Was running a little bit behind tonight. I know that we normally go on at 7. I don't like really being late. So you guys know that I have to put that in there. But nevertheless, we have a very interesting show tonight, y'all. Very, very, very interesting. Les Miles back in the news regarding LSU. Tomorrow being Judgment Day for the Bayou Bengals. What is going to happen? It's going to be very interesting. You better have your fingers crossed. I didn't put this as a Ruffino's rant. I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to tell you what I'm thinking, what I'm hearing, and we're going to go from there. We're going to bring up all the comments with the hashtag Ask Blake. If you have a question, you want to talk about it, let's roll with it, cuz. I mean, because at the end of the day, tomorrow is going to be a big deal in determining what's going to happen for LSU in their future. Some people think nothing's going to happen, and some people think that a lot is going to happen. But I think that some heads will roll tomorrow as we get into but we'll have to wait and see. So I'll put the hashtag Ask Blake up there as well. Let's see. Brian Thomas is in here. What's up, Brian? He says, what's up, Blake? What's up, Brian? Shannon Williams says, hello, everyone. What's going on, Shannon? Tim Graves, my old high school classmate. What's up, Tim? He says, let's go. Yeah, let's do this thing. We got a lot of LSU's talk to get to tonight. Everybody do us a favor, hit the like and share it to some Facebook groups. We greatly appreciate that. Everything that we do podcast-wise is brought to us by our good friends over at Believe Podcast and our good friends over at eBay. Guys, you know what eBay is. I don't have to tell you. You want something, go to eBay and you can purchase it. So our good friends over at eBay, we appreciate them as well for everything they do for us. Let's see. Derek says, given the culture in today's society, I would expect the hammer to drop. Yeah, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into this Les Miles situation and everything like that. I'll get to all your comments as well. But before that, we got to get to our good friends over at GM Varno & Sons. GM Varno & Sons has faithfully been serving your Denham Springs and Baton Rouge area for over 62 years with their highly trained technicians. There's nothing that they can't do. RV repair, big rig overhauls, motorhome chassis, truck repair, routine maintenance, tire repair, tire rotations, tire sales. No job is too big or too small over at GM. Give them a call today at 225-664-9992. That's 225-664-9992. And tell them Blake Ruffino at AYS sent you by, and our good friend Mr. Richie Roche over at Roche's Lawn and Landscape. If you're in the greater Baton Rouge or North Shore area, give Mr. Richie Roche a call today, 225-937-7220. That's 225-937-7220, and tell him your friend, Mr. Blake Ruffino, sent you on by. Let's see. Devin Staub says the old Lester, one sick Mad Hatter, now hit the open fingers space. Let's cap. Well, let's start here. I almost forgot to tell everybody. Before we get to this Les Miles stuff, everybody that listens to us knows that I've been on the search for the PlayStation 5. And today we have succeeded, y'all. April 13th, it's going down. So if Daddy gets the PS5 and it is delivered on April 13th, don't expect a show. It's not happening. I'm going to tell you that right now. We're going to be playing the PS5. Brad says, what's your thoughts on the Les Miles news? Look, again, and we mentioned this last night, and we mentioned it Monday. I heard Monday that was going to be coming down this Friday. We talked about that. We went into depth about that. Some people had told me that they thought that nothing bad was going to happen. It was just going to be a little slap on the wrist. But I warned you, and I told you that LSU was going to force this Les Miles investigation that they had in 2013, that they were going to force that out. Joe Oliva's name's got to be in here. Joe Oliva also, his name is going to be popped up in this investigation. So let's not act like Joe Oliva is innocent in all of this. And I'll just be honest here, I have obtained information and documentation my own damn self. So this is another part I'm going to get into in just a second. I have gotten information that in 2014, after 2013, when Les Miles was told to stop and had to sign a document saying that he wouldn't be around women, student women, let's just call it what it is. And I got something for 2014 when Les was hitting up the Facebook Messenger machine to a lady friend of mine, asking her, hey, you look great and all this kind of stuff. So the man never stopped. The man is perverted. Maybe not perverted, but the man did things he wasn't supposed to do. And everybody, when Les Miles wasn't going to get fired in 2015 after Texas A&M, everybody said he's such a family man. Bullshit. Les has been doing shady shit for a long time. And now it's going to come down on your ass. It's going to come down on LSU. So let's not act like Les Miles is just all of a sudden just, LSU's really doing Les Miles bad. No, and Joe Oliva, F. King Alexander, the Board of Supervisors, from the top down, if you think that they didn't know that, and if they did not know that this kind of stuff was going on, you're outside your damn mind. They did not act when they could have, and maybe they should have. Now, Les, to his defense, is saying that none of this happened. But then why are you signing documentation in 2013 saying that it did? Even if it did not happen, why are you signing documentation saying that you won't be around student female athletes by yourself? You won't be around student female workers by yourself? If you're guilty, then why are you signing it? Let's see. John says, finally able to catch a live show. Usually got to catch it the next morning. He's in Charleston, South Carolina. Well, I appreciate that, John. Derek says it may drop on LSU, but what the hell is Kansas going to get firing him after all that happened? Well, they have calls to fire him now. They have calls to fire him. They didn't know this was going on. You think that they got to pay less? I mean, from the top down, Joe Oliva, F. King Alexander, and Les Miles probably, and they were successful. They won a lot. We can't ignore the fact that Les Miles won a lot of football games. Let's not act like that. But to act like that none of those individuals knew that this was going on is absolutely ridiculous. What's up, Nick Gidry? Nick says hello on Facebook Live He also says, so Les is the perverted uncle of the family get it together figures. I want to go here too in reference to people not knowing and knowing. You know, I've seen a handful of journalists and reporters, people in Baton Rouge, people that cover LSU saying, well, we knew this kind of, I'm quoting somewhat, paraphrasing, it's not just one, it's multiples. Well, we knew this kind of, Les was a little shady. He did some shady stuff behind the scenes, but we never wanted to go after him because we'd be attacking LSU. Brother, it's your goddamn job to go after him if he's doing stuff like that. If you're a reporter, an investigative reporter at that, it is legitimately your job to do so. And now that LSU's giving you the information, now that LSU's telling you you can run with it, you're doing it now. And the USA Today article, let's call USA Today out too, by the way. The USA Today in their article said that, well, we sued LSU and a judge favored us in the suit and we got documents and that we're going to provide what happened with Les Miles. We have the investigation. So when did that court case actually end up? When did you get those documentations? Oh, wait, months ago? So now you're releasing them? The day before, literally, LSU's going to find out their fate in this Title IX investigation? That doesn't seem suspicious. Sounds like the USA Today and LSU might have had a deal. I'm not going to get into the political side of this. Hold on, I'm going to get to your Lee on Facebook Live. I'm going to get to your question in just a second. I'm not going to get into the political side of this because it's not my job to get into the political side of this. But it's my job, and I don't even have a job. I'm a podcaster, for crying out loud, as I hit my mic. I'm a podcaster, for crying out loud. Somebody has to call out stupid shit. At the end of the day, somebody's got to call out stupid shit. And I'm assuming that most of you come on here because I'm going to call out the stupid shit. I'm not going to go there. Holden Lee says, ask Blake, I don't understand why should football be in trouble if Les was doing this? It should be on him and LSU board members being punished. Well, I would assume that if it's, and look, this isn't the NCAA coming down tomorrow. This is the Hush Blackwell investigative report, the lawyer, and everything that he was able to do. Hello, buddy. Hey, buddy. We have a live guest again. We need to get locked for that door. Where was I at? Oh, this is not the NCAA coming down on. Gosh, I lost my train of thought. Oh, so this is not going to. You're not going to see the sanctions tomorrow, but I would assume that heads are going to roll. I would think that some people in compliance's heads are going to roll. So we'll see. And this is what I was going to say. The NCAA would probably, and I would assume, if it gets bad enough. And if the report is bad enough that LSU lost institutional control, and it's going to fall on LSU. I don't think that LSU should be punished for what some perverted dude did. Nick Guidry says, ask Blake, how bad do you think it's going to be for LSU? I'm hearing conflicting things. I got people on the, and I'm not saying the right for political and left for not. So I got people on the right saying it's not going to be good. And I got people on the left that saying it's going to be, or it's going to be good. Like LSU's going to be fine. I got people on the left saying it's going to be bad. So I really don't know. I guess it depends on what side of the fence that you fall on. Devin Staub says, karma strikes fact and always gets mercy. Ain't that the damn truth? Ain't that the damn truth? Joseph on Facebook Live says, why did it take so long for this info to be released? Apparently, a lot of people have been knowing this for years. And that's my point to all these reporters, y'all. You're saying that you knew some stuff like this was going on and that you knew that Les was, messaging girls. It took me a week to find a old text message and Facebook message that Les Miles sent a student worker. It literally took me a week, and I didn't even have to try that hard. Just knowing people that were around the building at that time, I asked them quite honestly, hey, did you ever get contacted by Les Miles? And boom, there it was. Wasn't that difficult. Now, you're going to have people that are going to defend Les Miles. You do have some Les Miles supporters that will, in Baton Rouge, that probably will still support him. And again, I want to make this a little clear too. Les does have the right to say what happened. So, he still has his quote unquote day in court, but LSU is going to throw him and Les and Joe Alleva under the bus. And you know what's funny? You know what's funny about this? Joe Alleva was the athletic director at Duke. And you guys and girls may remember when Joe Alleva was at Duke, there was that big Duke scandal. You remember that? Like Duke men's lacrosse was in a big thing. And, there was some allegations and charges that were brought up on some individuals, wind up playing out for the players' favor. And some lies were happening on these players. And Joe Alleva suspended all those players and Duke was really upset. And then now all of a sudden, he goes to, after Duke told LSU, do not hire Joe Alleva as your next athletic director. They did so anyway. And then all of a sudden, the same type of allegations with Les Miles is to the forefront. And now you're in a Title IX investigation. And not one of those God dog reports are talking about Joe Alleva. Look, if I see smoke coming out of a chimney and I'm outside of a house, you damn sure better believe that there's fire in there. 2 + 2 does not equal 6. Some of you are going to get that joke. Bo Holly says, if Kansas doesn't fire Les, especially in this culture, the school will look horrible. Again, Les does have his due diligence and what he can put forward and what can he prove, so we'll have to see. But this whole USA Today article is just not looking good for Les. And it's not going to look good for Les. Jamar Jackson says, ask Blake, why are people surprised Les was pimping out co-heads to recruits when he was at Oklahoma State? I don't know. Blake Doucette on Facebook Live says, ask Blake, do you think LSU will remove everything about Les Miles, including his records? I don't think that they will. I think LSU draws a line there. And you know what's crazy about that? What's just absolutely bonkers about that is LSU will keep the good things, but I'm sure they might do that. They might. Who knows? They're not going to take the wins away. They're not going to take the 2007 national title away. They're not going to take which in this investigation, it's talking about 2013. By the way, the text messages and messages I got one from 2010, 2 from 2013, and then one, was it 1? No, I think it might have been 2. And 2 from 2014 of Les reaching out to co-ed female individuals inside that building. Look, you're going to call me, you're going to say this is nuts, and I'm just going to tell you the God's honest truth. The God's honest truth is maybe that USA Today article is not as bonkers as everybody's saying it is bonkers. Oh, Les never did that. Yeah, okay. Danny says, what's up, everyone? Everyone hit the like and share. Appreciate the promo there, Danny. Derek says, Blake, I think they are hit with lack of control in Title IX investigations. They might. Derek, they sure as hell might get hit with title investigation or lack of institutional control at LSU. I mean, people that I trust say that it's going to be okay and LSU football will be fine. What's up, buddy? The terrible twos are underway in the Ruffino household. When you're able to open doorknobs. But we'll see. Danny says, Blake, let the little man co-host with you. We do that on Saturday mornings on YouTube. So go to YouTube and he'll come in here all day long, all the live long day. Derek says, people knew Les was I think we already read that one. Derek also says, are there any coaches currently on staff that were there when this stuff went down? Not really, but I don't think, look, Les Miles is not going to be I wouldn't assume that Les Miles is the only coach in this investigation. He's not the only person in the athletic department that's going to be in this investigation. So I think that there are going to be some heads that roll tomorrow, and for the luxury of LSU and for the benefit of LSU, LSU needs to get out in front of it and make sure and fire whoever they need to fire. Look, I'm just because what we need to understand here too, and I'm just trying to be very, very cautious when I say this. This isn't something that can or should or will ever, you can't sweep this under the rug. And it looks like Joe Oliva and Les Miles tried to do it. Now we have another investigation that we learned about last week that Les Miles gave somebody hush money. This isn't the same deal. There's two different things going on here. You got him giving money to another co-ed for hush up money, and then you have this one. So now you're talking about two different instances? You're talking about him doing it once and then getting popped again? So what if this first incident was, when he signed the documentation and LSU found out that Les Miles was doing some shady shit behind the scenes, and then it happened again and he had to give hush money up? That falls on Joe Oliva. That falls on F. King Alexander. So I hope the NCAA doesn't come out down on LSU for that, because Joe Oliva is a piece of absolute dog doo-doo and he's Rudy Poo. Now you understand why Blake Ruffino some 4 years ago, was it? No, it would be 5 years ago, when we launched AYS, when I was coming on my shows before we were going live, and I'm saying, fire that sucker. Shane says they won't take the 2007 Natty away because it belongs to the players as well as not just Les. Well, Shane, they took the 2000, what was it, 2005? 2005, didn't they take the 2003 national title away from USC? They took bullshit. Yes, they can, man. They can take it away. Now, I don't think that they will. There's nothing alleging that anything happened in 2017. And here's another thing, though, that I got to throw Les Miles, Nick Saban under the bus here. Nick Saban was kissing. Let me back up. You guys all know the song. I saw mommy kissing Santa Claus underneath the mistletoe last night. Well, LSU has their own Cajun version of that, right? It's I saw mommy kissing Nick Saban underneath the bleachers after the Iowa game in 2002 or 2004. So LSU has had a problem with this with their head coaches for a while. Throwing this out there, maybe you have a current one. We knew, listen, we all know what was happening with Coach O in this last season. I don't have to spell that one out for you. So if you're investigating LSU with all this kind of crazy shit going on, you're like, man, how, we'll see. Blaine Smith says someone in the higher ups will be removed, not taking appropriate action, as they should, Blaine, as they should. It's an utter joke. God, I hate Les Miles. I shouldn't say I hate him. I shouldn't say I hate him, because I don't hate anybody. Hate's a strong word. But, at what point do you protect a university? You know why they probably weren't doing it? Because all these other Rudy Poos were doing it. Joe Oliva looks like a jerk. Richard Lipsey, a big LSU booster, went on with Jordy Culotta, what was it, last week, and made fun of Joe Oliva. So you had literally your biggest booster going on a podcast making fun of Joel even the way that man smacked his gum. And you're going to tell me that LSU then had any control of anything. You want to know why you weren't beating Bama? Wasn't on the field shit. Maybe a little bit. I mean, how many toss dives can you run against Alabama with Leonard Fournette? Chap Happy says, ask Blake, how does LSU look coming out of the other side of this? How do they look? I still think on the field stuff, I don't know how on the field it's going to look. I would assume that they're going to get some type of slap on the wrist somehow, some way. Now, this isn't coming out tomorrow in reference to the NCAA. The sanctions will come later on. So then we'll find out later on with the NCAA sanctions. But here's, LSU has been fighting too. Here's something we haven't talked about. LSU also has been fighting for the simple fact of making the Our Lady of the Lake and the Will Wade and now this investigation things that are separate. So what if the NCAA wants to tie some of these together and say LSU as a whole lost institutional control? I mean, quite honestly, with Joel Levy, you have now this Les Miles investigation, and then you had the Will Wade stuff that was going on. So I don't know. I don't know how they're going to come. I pray to sweet Jesus that they come out on the other side looking good, but I don't know how confident I feel. Again, people on left, people on right, two different sides saying two different things. So we'll have to see. Joseph says, I still think if we had a good coach in 2011, we beat Bama twice. Les had the talent on the team, and he was never a great coach, in my opinion. He hasn't done anything at Kansas with less talent. Yeah, I guess you can say that. Bo Holly says, under the bleachers. That's why I went to Miami. Yeah, right. That's right. Candy Edwards. Tony Two-Bit says, ask Blake, Nick had him some candy, and that's why he lived in his guest house for LSU that last year. But and that's my point. And we all know what happened last season with the head coach around LSU. I mean, what's going on here? I'm not coming out here trying to be a Debbie Downer and all this kind of stuff. You guys know that I will push purple and gold all the live long day. But it seems to have been an issue. So we'll see. The good thing is that the players that were here and a lot of people that were here during all this, they're not here anymore. Dylan Landry says, what's up, y'all? Drinking some margaritas right now. Let's go. Blake Villers, 33 on Periscope says, ask Blake, if Woodward is actually against O and sees a way out of the buyout, does he take it? Well, none of this is going to fall on Orgeron. I mean, how can it? I don't. What are they going to get Orgeron on? That as a assistant coach, he didn't act or he didn't. What is he going to do? I mean, Ed Orgeron's not in those meetings with Les Miles and how things go on. I don't know how any of this is going to file or go under Ed Orgeron. And Scott Woodward said that Ed Orgeron was fine in that interview with Jacques Doucette a couple of weeks ago. So I would assume that they have no legal ground to fire Ed O, just based off of the words, quite simply, that Scott Woodward mentioned. So I don't know if he'll ever even have the grounds. And I think Ed's he needs another year. Why would you fire him now? I mean, it makes no sense to fire him now. Blake Schilling says, if LSU football is punished because of the I'm not going to say that. Heads will roll. Yeah, I'm sure it will. But what are we going to do? What are we going to do about it? Ain't nothing we can do about it. Derek says, Blake, you hit the nail on the head. The Coach O stuff now looks bad given what we know. Exactly. So does the Nick Saban stuff with Candy Edwards underneath the bleachers. Making out with Candy. Both are the same exact height. Both got the same exact amount of rings at LSU. both living in a summer house, in a condo in Baton Rouge together. Beam on Facebook Live says these old head coaches out there tearing them co-eds up. Well, Bo Holly says, quote unquote, Debbie Downer. No. How about realistic Randy? I try to be as realistic as I can, and I want to be realistic enough to the point that we're all going to, talk about this and come up. I don't know exactly what the conclusion is going to be tomorrow, but I feel like, and here's another interesting thing. Why do you think LSU is doing it on a Friday night? Now they're meeting at 10 a.m. tomorrow, the Board of Supervisors, but why do you think that they're releasing this tomorrow at a Friday in the evening? Because it's a news dump. It's a Friday news dump. That's all of that is. They don't want this out, pushing publicly. They don't want that. And why should they? Darren Reeves says purple and gold is getting a huge black eye. Yeah, they are. Byford Wagstaff. What a hell of a name, Byford. I would still like to know why Les didn't replace Jefferson for the second half in the 2011 National Championship game against Alabama. Here's the truth. Because he's not that good of a coach. He's a hell of a recruiter. He's not that good of a coach. And, there's parts of me that thinks too. And I don't know if all of you are on the same mindset as me on this, but hearing what Les was doing off the field and seeing what Les did on the field in his tenure at LSU, it feels like a guy that really thinks, number one, his Rudy Poo doesn't stink. And number two, it makes me feel like he's a guy that thinks that he's the best that ever was. I make a lot of Rocky movie comparisons and analogies in this show. He feels like Apollo Creed in Rocky IV, that I just can't be touched. I can't be touched. I can't be stopped. Can't be moved. Let's rock. That's how he feels. Hey, I'm going to run, toss, dive. I'm going to get. No, this is how Les talks. Let's run the toss, dive, left with Leonard. Christopher Columbus. What an Italian. By the way, I did not like, and I'm an Italian. When he started talking about Christopher Columbus, I'm like, hey, dog, you better be careful about the next words that come out of your mouth talking about Italians. Because us Italians don't like when you start, flapping them gums. Derek says, is a culture thing at LSU like Baylor? Be honest. Seems a lot of shadiness by coaches. No, I don't think it. No, it's not that bad. No, it's not that bad. It's not Baylor bad. But what I want to make sure of, and what I want to see is, does the NCAA try to find a way to bring like the Will Wade stuff and the Les Miles investigation stuff underneath this? And here's something that no one else is talking about either. The Our Lady of the Lake, and now this Title IX stuff falls under Joe Oliva and Les Miles. So not only did you get a bowl ban last year, hey, regardless of what y'all say, I kind of wanted LSU to go to a bowl. I mean, you get more practices with young kids. You go to a bowl game. I don't care if it's the Salt and Pepper Bowl in New Orleans. I don't care where it is. You get more practices to get your younger players more practices and ready to go for the next season. But now you have a bowl ban. You have scholarships that get reduced. And so that's just from Our Lady of the Lake. Now you have a whole nother investigation about to come on with Les Miles and Joe Oliva during their tenure. So national championship or not, I mean, the shit that we went through with Les Miles, and now we're sitting here, LSU and LSU fans, looking to take the punch from talking about Apollo Creed, the punch from Ivan Drago from Rocky IV. This all goes on less. Rudy Poo. All right, let's do this and we'll continue to talk. Guys, you can do the hashtag Ask Blake. If you have any questions, we'll put it right here so you guys can see it. Have any questions, just fire off. This is Are You Serious Sports? My name is Blake Ruffino. Do us a favor by hitting the like and share into some Facebook groups and rate and subscribe to anywhere you're listening to us on the podcast version. But we do got to get over to our good friend, our good friend, Mr. John Patton over at Area Home Lending, 225-663-2500. That's 225-663-2500 to go to areahomelending.com. That's areahomelending.com. Tell them your good friend, Mr. Blake Ruffino over at AYS sent you by, and he will send his team out for a free appraisal. Again, that is 225-663-2500, 225-663-2500, and our law firm over here at AYS, the Drake Law Firm, personal injury, criminal defense, real estate, and successions. There's nothing that they can't do. Go see them today at 154 West Pond Street, Ponchatoula, Louisiana. They will open up tomorrow at 9 a.m. Give them a call at 985-386-7600. That's 985-386-7600, and tell them your good friend sent you on by. Let's see. Blake Doucette says, ask Blake, should the sanctions come down and it's harsh, how does that affect Coach O in recruiting? It will affect us in recruiting. It will affect us in recruiting. I know that Mike Scarborough from TigerBait.com, who usually comes on our show, he does his show right after. That's a good question to ask him, because he's been covering recruiting for such a long time, especially for LSU, and he's seen his fair share of days, not just from LSU, but from recruiting in general. If some things pop off, how does it affect? And what's sad is you have such a loaded class in 2022. The last thing that you would want, the absolute last thing that you would want, is for that class to start falling apart. Because I simply don't. Let's see. Derek says, those of you who like to explore new worlds, this is your day. True. Joseph on Facebook Live says, I have a bad feeling the SEC or NCAA will mess over, but he doesn't say mess over. He uses an F word in there. LSU, any chance they get? Hope I'm wrong. Well, the SEC doesn't have anything to do with it. The SEC is not. Look, I promise you this. The SEC is not going to come down on LSU like the NCAA will, because the SEC absolutely needs LSU to be prosperous. Now, you could say that it's better for the NCAA and NCAA football for LSU to be up there, but look, Baylor was one of the universities that was bringing in some of the most money. Go Google it. Like, Baylor was bringing in like top three amounts of money when they were having success with like RG3 and guys like that, and they brought the hammer down on them. But if my gut. Like, in my gut, I just don't know if I feel that LSU gets the hammer. I do think that they're going to get a slap on the wrist. I don't know how LSU goes unscathed without getting a little slap somehow. Now, does that mean that LSU starts firing people? We got a bowl ban. Is the NCAA just allowing LSU to kind of figure this out because the Joel Eva and Les Mileses aren't there? We pray to God and hope to God that that's what's going on. But do they want to come down with the hammer? Because sometimes you can do stuff and the NCAA says no. So, this isn't Penn State. This isn't Baylor. This isn't even Ole Miss. I wouldn't think in terms of what's going on, but it's right around the stratosphere of what happened at Ole Miss with Hugh Freeze. Maybe around the same stratosphere, maybe. Maybe not that harshly. Maybe a tick above, but I don't. The public eye and public perception, and fans are going to cry. Fans from other fan bases are going to cry out, "Hammer LSU! Oh my God, LSU! Pay people off if they don't get popped." Let's see, Jonathan Rifkin. Our good friend, Mr. Jonathan Rifkin, over at Just Recruiting, says, can I expect to see you at the LSU-UCLA game next season? Well, Rifkin, we hope that game is played in the Rose Bowl. You know, I don't mean this in a negative way, but California has not allowed fans in anything. Would I go? Absolutely, I would go, and I would want to be there. Do I have faith that the that California will allow fans? Rifkin, is a completely different topic. So I think it's LSU going and playing UCLA is a big deal for a national recruiting part for LSU. They've never been out that way. I mean, Ed has recruited California somewhat well, being that he was at USC. Going back to Los Angeles would be a big win if LSU could pull it off. So yeah, if they would allow it and things get back to normal, I hope we can get there. Let's see. Derek says that was a reference to his Columbus Day presser, Blake. Yeah, I know, but here's the part about Les Miles. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's always rambling, and you don't know what he's saying. And he goes, "What a great Italian." Who's an Italian? I mean, he's just goofy, y'all. He's just goofy. Like Disney. Jonathan Rifkin says, once our governor is recalled, there will be fans in the stands. Well, I'm not going to wish that he's recalled. I'm not getting into politics. I ain't doing it. But we'll see. Derek says it's on the same par as the Bobby Petrino stuff, but it's in today's society. It's worse. You know what's funny? You know what's really funny about that, Derek? The 2013 stuff would be when this was going on with Les Miles, literally during that time frame, would be the same exact stuff and same exact time that was going on with Bobby Petrino. We should have let that man go to Michigan, y'all. We should just told him, hey, go to Big Blue. You can go there and suck it up. You can get your ass beat by Ohio State. But we didn't. All right, guys, we're going to call a little early tonight. We will be back Saturday. We might do a show tomorrow. We might do a quick one tomorrow after we find out the allegations and everything that's going on with this stuff. But until then, I'm your host, Blake Ruffino. We will see you at least Saturday morning to talk about it, and that's for damn sure. But we will see you then. You guys have a great weekend. Did get my PS5. Excited about that. It'll be coming in soon. So I'm really excited, y'all. I'm not going to lie. Till then, guys, y'all have a good night. Peace out.